Good afternoon and welcome to Environmental Science, Spring 2018 semester here at Northeast Iowa Community College. My name is Nathan Corderer, and I'm going to be your instructor here online this semester. I first of all just want to start by apologizing for taking so long to get this kind of introductory welcome video message sent out to you all. I was traveling earlier this week as part of my duties as physics instructor and didn't get back to campus until Wednesday, and then yesterday kind of got away from me. So it's late on Thursday, the 11th, here at the Kalmar campus, and so I hope this video finds you all doing well and have gotten through the first part of the first week of the semester without a lot of challenges and difficulties. I want to point out a few things to you about the online class this semester, things that I'd like you to get taken care of, some details about how I'd like you to complete the assignments, and hopefully I can get any questions that you've had answered. It's an online course. It's 100% online. There is no face-to-face portion of this class, so everything that we do is going to live right here in Brightspace. The name of the course is ENV115 -94102. It's Environmental Science Online, and it looks like several of you have already gotten a really good start on things, and so hopefully those of you that haven't started yet, you'll be able to get going here quick now that you've kind of seen how some of this works. I'm logged in as a student, and so the view that you're going to see is going to be the student view, which should look like yours. This is kind of what the course homepage looks like, and what you'll be able to find is that a lot of the material that you'll need for this class can be accessed through a couple of different clicks. I'm going to show you the discussions first. And so under discussions, what I'd like you all to do or try to get done by the time the week is over is to contribute and participate in the general discussion called Learning and Teaching. So if you click on Learning and Teaching, I've asked you to talk a little bit about your theory of learning by considering some of these ideas here, and to consider your theory of teaching by considering some of these here. And then what you can do to respond to these set of prompts is to go down here and click Start New Thread. Post your answers to these prompts in there, and then select Post. And so you can see that Carrie and Christina and Alexis, Macaulay, and Nathaniel have already kind of gotten a really good start on that. So if you haven't gotten a start on that yet, I'd encourage you to go ahead and do so as soon as you can. And again, you can respond in here. So that's the first thing that I'd like you to do for this first week of class is the learning and teaching discussion. I'd also like you to do a little bit of welcome. So tell us a little bit about who you are and where you're from and something interesting about yourself. Looks like Danielle and Alex and Taylor and Jordan and a few others have already gotten a good start on that, and that's great. One thing that I will ask that we do as part of our introductions, and so Danielle, I'm picking on you because you were the first one to post. And so Danielle tells us a little bit about herself here. She's from Hazel Green. She works at Washington Middle School in Dubuque, and she loves her job there, and that's great. And Danielle, I appreciate you getting us signed in and started with the discussions. The one beef I have about Danielle's post, and I'm guessing that I'm going to have the same beef with a lot of you, is that Danielle does not look like this, okay? Brightspace is great. It allows us to communicate with people over long distances and do a lot of things that we couldn't do otherwise. But it doesn't do a good job of giving you a default photo that looks anything like you. And so, Danielle, what I'd like you to do, and anybody else for that matter, whose picture looks like this faceless creature, is to change that profile picture to something that looks a little bit more like you. One thing that I don't like about our online classes is that I don't get a real chance to kind of see who you are and what you really look like. And the only way that I have to connect with you is through your profile photo. And so to change this profile photo, what you do is you click up here on your name in the upper right-hand corner, and you click on Profile. And then I want you to come down here and I want you to change picture. So you can see this is an old picture of me. It's before I had this goofy-looking beard. Maybe I want to change it to something that looks like I do now. And confess I don't have any pictures of me with my beard, but if I did, I could click upload, and then I could go out to my desktop or somewhere where I know I have pictures of myself, and I could add one of those new pictures. And so unfortunately I don't have another picture of me here on my desktop. Maybe I could just to show you what this looks like. So I've got this picture from Boss's Day. I don't know what this is going to look like. Here we are. This is a group of us. So I could change my picture to that, and I'm actually going to cancel because I don't want to change that. And I'm going to cancel out of here too, just so that my picture stays the same as it was before. But anyway, you can see how that works if you go to Profile, and then you change picture, navigate your way out to the place where you have your pictures stored on your hard drive, and please get that photo updated. It looked like some of you had done that already, but some of you hadn't quite figured that out. And hopefully by the time you read this, watch this video, you'll have a sense of how that works. So the second discussion that you need to participate in this week is the welcome and introductions. And then down here, you start to get into the actual assignments. And so the first assignment that I'd like you to complete for this week is what I call environmental news. It's something that you're going to do basically every week, and the format's going to be pretty much the same. So if you get that figured out early in the semester, it'll go a long way. So I'm not going to read all of this to you, but basically the gist of environmental news is you go out to the internet, find content that is related to the topic that we're reading from the textbook of this particular week, and then post a link to that article or to that resource and give us a little summary about what that article was all about, where you found it, who wrote it, and then some questions that you have based on that reading. That'll be worth 6 points. 4 points will come from your response to classmates, and looks like I need to change a couple of things here about when those things are all going to be due. Generally speaking, I would like you to have links submitted for your environmental news original post by Monday evenings at 11 p.m. and your responses to classmates up by Wednesday of that week. I don't know why it says Tuesday. It should say Wednesday at 11 p.m. So that we can kind of keep the discussions moving. And so the environmental news is content that you are coming up with. Your original post is going to be worth 6 points. Your response to a friend is going to be worth 4 points for a total of 10 points. I do have a rubric that goes along with these environmental news articles that I would encourage you to look at, because that kind of breaks it down point by point. This is how I'm going to get those grades that I like. The other activity that I'd have you participate in this week is what I call critical thinking. And critical thinking is based on reading the textbook. And so the textbook chapter that we're in for this week is chapter 1, and it talks about living sustainably and sustainability and those kind of things. And so I ask you to think about if you're living sustainably, if not, why, if so, how come, and then respond accordingly. So these critical thinking assignments are worth 5 points, and the environmental news assignments are worth 10 points. So roughly speaking, each week you're going to have about 15 points of reading and writing that you're going to need to worry about. The other thing that will be due or that you'll be assessed on are going to be your scores on quizzes. And the first quiz will be available on Monday the 15th that will cover chapter 1 in your textbook. So environmental news, critical thinking, and quizzes are sort of the 3 things that are going to be happening every week. And the quizzes will also be based on the reading of the textbook. As we go through the semester, I may beef up these quizzes a little bit to make them not over just the textbook reading, but also the reading of other people's environmental news. And so that may evolve a little bit as the semester goes on. One other thing that I wanted to point out here on the Brightspace page was the content. And so under content, particularly what I'd like you to take a look at is the syllabus. So the syllabus is up. Finally, I posted this a couple of nights ago, and the syllabus has information about how to contact me. My office hours, this should say 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday through Thursday. I'm based out of Max Clark Hall on the Kalmar campus, but for you online people, you're probably going to be best to just email me. The textbook for this course Had a couple people asking about that. It's a textbook called Environmental Science. It's available at your bookstore, but you could also go out to Amazon or Chegg or Barnes & Noble and find used books or rental versions of this textbook. It's the 15th edition, and the authors are Miller and Spoolman. If I pull up an image of this textbook cover real quick, what you'll find is that the textbook cover, this is it here, kind of looks like this guy swimming down here in the coral reef somewhere. It's got a National Geographic logo on the bottom. So this is what the textbook looks like. Try to get a copy of that as soon as you can, because as I've said to a couple of you already, the quizzes and the critical thinking from each week are going to be based on your reading and your understanding of that textbook. One other thing that I'll show you really quick before I start to run out of time here on my video is the calendar that lives on the syllabus. And so if you look at the syllabus and you look at the schedule, I should note that the schedule is subject to change, but usually when I teach this class online, the calendar doesn't change much from day to day. What you'll find is that the topic for each week corresponds to the chapter in the textbook. So like week 1, we're talking about chapter 1. Week 2, we're talking about chapter 2. Week 3, chapter 3. Week 4, you guessed it, chapter 4. The only place where you get into a little bit of trouble is week 8, when I have you cover 2 chapters, chapters 8 and 9 in the textbook. I'll remind you about all this as we get further out in the semester. And then when we go away for a week for spring break, we come back, it's week 10, and we're in chapter 10. Week 11, chapter 11. Week 12, you guessed it, chapter 12. And so the textbook and the schedule correlate to one another in that the topic for each week corresponds with the number in the text, and the number of the chapter in the textbook. So what I would do for you, if you haven't already done so, get your hands on a copy of that textbook, read chapter 1, and then go ahead and start participating in the online discussions and the critical thinking and the environmental news. So that's really all I wanted to say from like a welcome and a how do you get started with the class standpoint. Again, my name is Nathan Corderer. You can call me Nate. I'm based out of the Kalmar campus. I've been teaching full-time up here at the Kalmar campus for, I guess this is the beginning of my 7th year, somebody pointed out the other day. In addition to teaching environmental science, I also teach physics, and I also teach math. And so you may see me in a couple of different, wearing a couple of different hats up here on this campus. I really do enjoy teaching environmental science. And I enjoy teaching it online, too, because it gives us an opportunity to explore things in a way that you might not otherwise get to in a face-to-face class. And so it gives you more freedom and more time to really dig into some of these ideas, I think, at your own pace. So that's what I know about that. I will be posting this video to the announcements page here on Brightspace, and I'll also be sending everybody a link to this. So you should be seeing this in your inbox here pretty soon. I look forward to working with you all this semester. I really do. Those of you that have gotten us off to a good start with the discussions, keep that up. Those of you that haven't had a chance to post yet, get cracking. And we're going to start at the beginning of Chapter 2 at the start of next week. Really quickly, I did get an email from someone asking about releasing more assignments so that they could work ahead a little bit. That's not something that I do in my online class. We work a chapter at a time, a week at a time, just so that I can make sure that we're all kind of on the same page and that I can do an easier, I have an easier time at keeping track of where people are and what assignments have been completed. So I appreciate you asking me about releasing more work ahead of time, but for now we're going to not do that and just be patient. I'll have all the new material for Chapter 2 available on Monday the 15th, along with your next, or along with the first quiz. So stay tuned for that. I'll send out another video kind of announcement like this on Monday of next week, talking about the topics for the next week of discussion. All right, that's it. That's me. I'm done. I will see you all online again on Monday, and I look forward to reading what you've written so far. All right. Thanks so much. Take care. I look forward to working with you. Bye-bye.